So we're gonna jump right into it. Courtney has amazing hair for upstyling, and I'm going to prep it with the Shield. This is my go-to heat protectant product. It's a really nice aerosol. It also has anti-humidity properties where it's gonna lock in that style and fight frizz for up to 24 hours. So I like to do a nice little spritz throughout the hair, and then I'm gonna detangle it.
It smells so good.
And are you okay with me like moving you?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do anything you need to do with me.
So that product is really great for all hair types and textures, but I especially love recommending it to my finer haired clients because a lot of heat protectant tends to be an oil or cream based, and they get freaked out when those are recommended for their hair because they think it's going to make them greasy. But the Shield is an aerosol, so they understand that it's super lightweight and it's going to help protect their hair when they're putting heat on it. One thing to note with this product is it is heat activated, so you need to put heat on it for it to work. It can be put on wet or dry hair and on second or third day hair to refresh curls. So again, 450-degree heat protection. I'm grabbing my Chameleon with the 1-inch attachment, and we're gonna do some really pretty beach waves. So what I'm going to be doing is teaching you guys a couple of techniques that you can use to layer when you're creating an upstyle, or just if you're going to weigh your hair down and you want to mix in some textures. So I am going to be holding it diagonally with the tip facing down. I feel like you're going to be learning some stuff today too.
I know, I'm going to be listening the whole time.
And I like to just hold it in my hand for a few seconds to let it cool before I drop it, because the curl is forming actually when it's cooling. So everything near the face in front of the ear, I'm gonna curl away, and anything behind that, I'm gonna alternate every other direction. So this one is behind the ear, so I am going to curl it towards, just like you would be doing a beach wave with a Marcel. Isn't that a funny thing, Marcel?
I was like, I would be doing a beach wave with a Marcel.
They're like, what is that? We don't get your.
Because that's my husband's name.
That's her husband's name, guys.
So yes, I would be at the beach doing a beach wave with a Marcel. For sure. I'd like to be.
I know, it's too cold right now. So I actually, even though I did like a nice generous spray earlier, I tend to work in sections just to make sure that each section is getting heat protection, to make sure that Courtney's hair stays nice and beautiful and healthy. So this next layer, I'm actually gonna grab the High Tide Beach Waver. This is our triple barrel curling tool. And it's really nice because clients understand how to use it, and it creates a really beautiful wave. So I'm actually going to hold the hair out 90 degrees towards my body. And instead of using it the traditional way, which is horizontally, I'm actually holding it vertically. So it creates less volume, so it doesn't look like an 80s like crimper type of vibe. It's a loose wave where it almost looks like you had braids. Although my mom bought me a crimper at a garage sale and I never opened it. I feel bad.
What? You gotta break that thing out.
Yeah. It could be the next big thing.
Honestly, I could see crimping coming back. For next year, I feel like we're headed that way.
Crimping.
We already have like butterfly clips already in. Everything is leading up to crimping.
Butterfly clips are always in.
Yeah, so true.
Truly. So we're basically just going to be doing this the entire head, layer by layer, doing the different techniques to create some really cool texture. For these smaller pieces that are face framing, I will definitely be using the Chameleon to curl them, just so that they stay nice and soft. I totally almost grabbed the wrong end and burnt my entire hand.
Oh!
So I like to leave a little bit of the ends out. And if you want to soften the curl instead of holding it in your hand, I tend to pull it straight to smooth it. And if you have any little baby hairs, you can also take the chameleon and smooth those like so. Have you used Amika, Courtney?
I've used, gosh, I think the hair mask I really like.
Is it an orange tub or green?
It's orange.
Oh, soul food?
Yes.
That's my favorite.
Yes, and everything just smells so good.
It does. It's clove, cinnamon, and citrus. Oh, I feel good. I remember that. I should by now.
Pop quiz. No, I love how everything smells really good. Every time you do my hair, I'm just like,
so good. You guys too are welcome to ask questions, and there should be somebody answering them in the chat, and at the end I'm happy to see if I'm able to answer any of the questions that you guys have. I love Q&As. Okay. So this section, again, I'm just using the chameleon, holding it at a diagonal and flat wrapping it all the way down the base. I like to take either the Undone Texture Spray or Fluxus Flexible Hold Hairspray and kind of work those in as I'm sculpting. Usually the Undone Texture Spray is a little bit lighter. It's actually the sister product to Perk Up. They have the same key ingredient, but the Undone Texture Spray has a mattifying hold to it. It is great though because it still absorbs oil, dirt, debris, and any odor. So if this is like a second, third day hair and you need a little extra something at the roots, you can use this as well. But it's just nice to give the hair a little bit of grit and memory if your client says they have a hard time holding a curl.
yeah, I think this is day 3 hair too.
Day 3?
Yeah, we're right there. You were like dirt, debris, and what else? Whatever you said, I was like check, check, check. That's me.
How many days do you usually go in between?
I try to push to at least 5. If I can do, I would love to do just 1 big hair wash a week, but I typically need 2 just because my scalp gets dry. But if it weren't for that, I would push it further. I've seen some people can go like 2 weeks
Oh my gosh.
or something. Crazy.
I feel like I have like no hair, so I just wash it every day because it takes 2 seconds to do.
It would be amazing. I would love to do that. Marcel does that too. He washes his hair like every day.
It's great.
When he has black hair, so he needs to wash it for like retaining moisture.
Mm-hmm.
And then his hair is just immediately perfect. I'm like,
I know. Some people are just blessed.
yep. And I'm greasy.
It's looking good today.
Yeah, we did some dry shampoo before we came. I'll be real.
Looking good. So you guys, I am doing this last section here with the High Tide Waver. I'm leaving about a 2-inch section at the roots so that it doesn't, again, look like that 80s crimped style. If you get too close to the root, it tends to look very pressed in. So I like to leave the roots more natural and even leave a gap in between where my last imprint of the tool was. And then I usually leave the ends out as well. So that just looks a little bit more, she didn't really try that hard, but she did kind of vibe.
Easy breezy.
Easy breezy. Hallmark. Oh, God, I love Christmas movies.
Did you already watch the new Lindsay Lohan one?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Instant classic.
This way. So hopefully you guys can see okay. I'm gonna do that same technique again, but I'm thinking we'll do a half up, half down situation. So what I like to do before I start curling is take the Fluxus Flexible Hold Hairspray, and I'm gonna spray a little bit at the roots and do some light back combing. The reason I do this is that it creates a pin cushion for those pins to live in. If you've ever done any sort of upstyling and you've put bobby pins in hair that hasn't been backcombed at all and there's no product, you'll notice they tend to slip around and you start using a lot more bobby pins than you need to. And this way, there's somewhere for those pins to live in, and it creates some volume as well. So I'm going to go back and lightly back comb right at the roots, like so, and create a pin cushion.
Is it actually called a pin cushion, or did you invent that?
I did not invent that. I wish. No, it's actually like a term.
That's crazy. Hair's so weird.
There's even like things you can do with like hair donuts, or like I feel like I've also seen a stylist use like old clippings of hair and they like mat it up and like pin it like a organic hair donut.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that. Unless it's like your own hair. It's a little freaky. Okay, guys. So there's that, and I'm just going to continue layering those two techniques. So the beach wave with the chameleon, and then the high tide waver. So make sure we'll get all these hairs. And what's really cool about the chameleon is it has 5 different size attachments. So this, and I have the high tide waver, and my flat iron is usually all I bring with me to weddings or on set, because you're able to create so many different textures with the different attachments. So this is the 1 inch, but there's also a 2 inch. There's like even little like micro. It's a really great tool. It goes up to 450 degrees. I will say, when I had hair, like back in the day, I could not for the life of me figure out how to use a wand to curl my own hair.
Yeah.
It's very confusing when you're looking in a mirror, I will say.
Yeah. A wand is like all I use now.
I feel like I definitely burnt my face like more times than I'd like to.
I used to use one of those ones that has like the iron around the outside, almost like a guideline. Yep. My mom still uses that too. It's very old school.
I love this thing. It heats up so nice. I feel like any client I've ever had that's like, my hair doesn't curl, I'm like, sit back and watch this.
Yeah, right?
Like,
maybe you're just not using the right thing. My hair did not curl as a kid, and it makes me wonder.
You're like, who was doing
that
to me?
Because I feel like it does now.
Okay. Next section. So just because we're in the back, I'm actually going to switch to show you guys how I will use the high tide waver in a situation where I may be doing a bridesmaid's hair or the bride's hair, depending on what the final look is. So at the front of the hairline, we held it vertically, and that was to create 0 volume so that when I was finished, the wave was closer to Courtney's face, and it ended up looking like a really pretty loose wave. Holding it the traditional way, horizontally, when you do that layer by layer, the volume will stack up against itself and create volume, which is really nice if you're in a pinch on time, using this tool to create some texture, movement, and volume very quickly, especially if you're going to pin all of that hair up. It doesn't necessarily need to be perfect, precise curls, so I will usually grab the waver for that reason. So you can take some pretty large sections, and I'm going to do it horizontally, so we're going to hold it, and I'll get a little bit closer to the root when I'm at the back of the head, so again, I can create some volume. And I like to hold it so I can see the hair here and touch it to make sure it's fully heated up. If it's too hot for your finger, it's too hot for their hair. Definitely don't want to burn yourself, but just tap it really quick. And then you're able to see exactly where the indentation is made, and then move on down the shaft of the hair. Have you ever used a waver, Courtney? Mm-hmm. Do you like using them?
I used to use them constantly, like especially in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it just became not as trendy, or at least
back then
in my suburb of life. And so if I had waves, it was because I just braided my hair the day before.
Yeah.
And I got rid of the waver, and now I'm like, lately
why
I've been
did I do
regretting it.
that?
Yeah. Because now I'm like, oh, that would have been really cute to like have for right now. So like now I literally just use a wand and that's it. Or like I do have heated curlers, like old school heated curlers that I do use sometimes.
So hopefully you guys can see the difference here. This one is vertically, so the waves are actually going and be able to build up, where if it was vertically, it would be on its side here, so it would be more flat. So there's the differences there. It does like, it creates like waves like so fast, but sometimes I'll do like updos in like 20 minutes and people are like,
wow.
Oh, we already done? I'm like,
honestly, and you're so fast too. It doesn't make sense to me how an updo seems extravagant.
mm-hmm.
So if your hair is in an updo, I feels like that should take hours.
Well, if you're curling somebody's entire head, it would.
Yeah.
But if you have like the high tide waver, you're able to just like boom, 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 put some like wave in there and then pin it up.
That's like crazy. I honestly feel like I would do more updos if I could see the back of my head better, but
yeah,
like,
it's a workout.
If I knew what I was like doing.
Yeah.
Or if I felt like it would look good.
I remember the days when I started doing updos is when Jersey Shore was on TV. If anyone
poofs.
That dates myself. Yeah, the poof. I feel like everybody got a lot of backcombing.
Everyone wants poofy.
Everyone wanted that poofy, like perfect, like dome type of. Oh, that was such a bad era.
Honestly, I feel like everything always references the 80s. Like the 80s in some way. Because the 80s has that like permy, huge poofy. Even the 90s too, which I love a lot of 80s and 90s television.
Yes.
I love the power suit era for women. Like in the 90s, I live. And they always have a poofy updo kind of thing.
Gotta love a poof.
I think it says professional and working woman.
Working woman.
Authoritative. CEO. All the things I'm trying to be in 2023.
Yes.
Yes. Why not go into the new year with an updo?
That's what I'm saying.
And say
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
This could be you.
Yep, this will be me. I'm gonna replicate this perfectly. I'm gonna rewatch this back and just copy everything you did.
Okay, guys, I am doing that horizontal technique one more time so you guys can see how it's slightly different than the front and building volume. And when we brush all these curls out, it creates a really, really pretty texture. It's a great way too if you're stuck in a rut with your Instagram feed and just giving everybody beachy waves. Even if you do different types of cuts or color, they end up to look kind of alike. Wow, I can't talk or speak English. They end up looking alike. So mixing two textures together immediately creates some interest and a different type of vibe than just doing a beach wave.
Honestly, love that. You do this, your hair will look different than everyone else's.
Yeah.
Everyone else is literally doing a beach wave. That's the everyday look. That's what I do every day.
It's a good go-to, but I feel like sometimes people's Instagrams, like, they all do the same thing, and then I'm like, oh, but do they know how to do anything else? Like, I don't know if I want to go see this person if, like, I don't know. I'm very particular if I'm going to go get my hair done.
Totally.
So just showing that you have a little something in your back pocket is really cool.
Well, it sets you apart, too.
Yeah. I love a beach wave, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Who doesn't?
It's good.
It's good on everyone. It's like natural without being natural.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm just gonna, real quick, if you have never done a beach wave or have never done one with a chameleon, I'm essentially just doing every other direction. So this, almost like checkerboard or bricklay, doesn't necessarily matter as long as the sections left and right of each other are going different directions, and then the section above it. So if this section was going right, the section above it should go left. That way when you rake out the hair, all of them are going in different directions, and it's gonna create maximum volume. So if you're someone that tends to work pretty quickly and you don't have a ton of time to pay attention to your sectioning, I recommend carving out one client, even if it's just one client a month, that you can really sit down and do sectioning and be intentional, because it does create a huge difference. More impactful. You have the best hair for this too, I swear.
Really?
Yeah, your hair's just like luscious.
Wow.
Luscious.
I accept that.
It must be the soul food.
Totally. My hair was not luscious growing up. It just became thick at some point. I don't know when. Just maybe puberty. I don't know.
You're like, I don't know.
It's to the point where I still think my hair is like thin and won't hold curls until I get my hair cut, and they're like, we need to schedule extra time for you.
You're like, I'm special.
I'm like, why? Do you have any New Year's Eve plans yet?
Oh girl, I'm asleep by like 8.
Love it.
No.
I'm gonna enter the new year well rested.
Well rested every year.
I'm a big like manifesting like New Year's resolution type of girl. Like I like to be super nostalgic on New Year's Eve and just like think about the year.
Yes.
Think about next year, dream really, really big. And then like enter January with that energy. I like January for that.
I like January for that too. It feels like a new start.
Totally. And I don't like care if that's like super cliche. I like think it's so important to like reevaluate yourself and like
you guys are coming to Courtney's TED Talk right now.
Yes. It doesn't take I love like also being like thankful, like looking back and giving yourself like a pat on the back and being like, okay, I really did that this year.
Yes.
Because the year was long and also short. Doesn't it feel like it went by so fast?
It went by very fast.
Time is so weird right now.
Yeah. Really flew. I can't believe it's like December.
Yeah. I do love to get dressed up to go nowhere, for sure. Like, I will probably get dressed up to be in my house.
Yes.
For absolute. I love a dress code.
Yes.
I would do this hair that you're doing on me to go absolutely nowhere.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay, real quick. I'm holding this vertically again so you guys can see the difference. It's a really cool technique to use behind the chair and teach your clients because they love a high tie deep waver. They understand how to use this tool. Super simple and it's quick. So if somebody's short on time, they're gonna love this thing. Again, I leave 2 inches at the roots, and there's the difference of it vertically versus what we did in the back horizontally. And you can take pretty big chunky sections with this tool. It's pretty awesome. I feel like you're gonna need to get one, Courtney.
Honestly, I think the reason why I got rid of mine was I was using it wrong. Like watching you do this, I'm like, I always did it like going down and it just looked so bad. Like way too defined. Not like tousled enough.
Yes.
I didn't even think to hold it differently.
Honestly, when I learned it, I was like, why didn't I think of that?
That's so dumb.
I don't know. It works great though.
Yeah.
Because it does. It looks like you had braids in your hair.
So funny. I thought that was the most luxurious like hair look growing up.
Oh, the waver? Like
yeah,
boom,
totally.
Boom, boom.
Or like if you put your hair in braids. I remember being like, yeah, my hair is curly from braids. It's pretty great. I'm very pretty right now. What was like your favorite hairstyle growing up that you liked to have your hair in? Like
I did like these weird like little twists.
Yes.
Back with like a butterfly clip.
Oh my gosh, same.
Yeah.
My mom used to call me Clippy. Because I would put like 30 in my hair.
I had so many. And we lived in Hawaii and there was like a huge trend with like the butterfly clips where they look like real butterflies.
Oh.
And they are like glittery and...
You lived in Hawaii?
For a moment in
wow.
time. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I've seen those butterfly clips now where they even like you can touch them and they flutter.
Yes.
So cute.
Yes. Yep, I definitely had those. I wish I knew where those went because I have a huge collection of hair accessories, but no idea where those are.
Why do we all abandon the hair things that make us like feel whimsical and silly? Like we all decided hair accessories are for kids, and then like we don't do them as
not
a kid.
now.
No,
I have a lot of hair accessories now.
No, that's why you're different though. Like you let yourself be adventurous and playful with like hair accessories and stuff, and I feel like a lot of people don't let themselves do that.
Thanks, Courtney.
And that's why I like your style.
I'm thinking we're gonna do a really cool half up, half down braid.
Fun.
Cause what says like we're gonna go into the new year with a freaking dope braid.
I love it. That's how I had my hair on my wedding day, or a variation.
Cute.
So it's one of my favorites. And braiding is like the thing I can do.
Here for it.
I'm sure you were the one braiding all your friends' hair and stuff as a kid or whatever.
Yes.
The lines out the door.
So guys, I'm spraying a generous amount of the Undone Texture Spray before I do the brush out, just to give it some memory. And then I'm gonna spin you.
It looks so cute.
A little wide tooth comb just to kind of brush some of this out and break apart those curls. And right in here where we did that back combing, I can feel it. Feels nice, like bobby pins are gonna sit in there really good. So already you can see lots of different texture, super pretty. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of Supernova Moisture and Shine Cream. This is one of my favorite products. You can put it in wet or dry, and I like to use it when I'm doing braids. You can also grab Velveteen Dream for that same reason. Again, you can use this wet or dry. Basically just to add some moisture and definition to the hair while I'm braiding it. I'll put a quarter size amount. Then I wash my hands with the product to make sure that when I go to put it on Courtney's hair, I don't put a huge glob in one place and then the other part of her hair doesn't get any. So I'm just gonna rake my hands through. This helps fight frizz. It helps meld any like layers together. And we're gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna spin you right here. Yes. Let's do a really cool braid. So I'm gonna take an organic horseshoe parting, like so. Doesn't need to be perfect. And I'm going to put this in an elastic. So if you're ever doing any sort of, oh, I didn't grab the elastics I need. LOL. Maybe I have one in here. No. 1 second, guys. Will you open and get like those little baby ones?
Yeah, I got you.
So if you guys are doing any sort of up style where you're doing a twist or a braid, thanks friend, I'll just take those.
Okay.
And you aren't really getting control that you need with the hair, maybe it's a little too healthy and it's kind of flopping around, I definitely recommend grabbing more of the Undone Texture Spray and spraying a generous amount because it will create a little bit of grit in the hair and memory.
Sorry.
That's okay. So that it will do what you want it to do. And you can definitely feel the difference. So if your client's hair feels kind of silky, you definitely need a little bit more product. Okay. So I'm just spraying until I can kind of feel that grittiness so that it has some memory. So when I go to kind of loosen it and pull it apart to show some texture, it's going to stay right where I need it to instead of flopping all around because it's so healthy. So I'm just gently pulling things loose so that it covers more area around her head and isn't pulled so tight back, and there's some volume from all sides. I recommend taking a step back when you're doing any sort of updo to make sure that 360 everything is looking really good. Okay. And then I'm going to hide this elastic by taking a small section of hair from the ponytail, and I'm going to wrap it around like so until you get to the ends. About here is where I would stop, and you're going to grab a bobby pin and place it over the ends and twist the bobby pin so that you kind of tighten those ends in there, and then pin it up into itself like so. Then I will go in with the Headstrong hairspray. This is a freeze hold, and I'm going to spray right where I just wrapped that hair to make sure that nothing moves and it stays in place all night long. So if Courtney gets a wild hair and wants to whip her hair back and forth, it's not going anywhere. It's gonna stay. Okay. Gorgeous.
Very important for when my party at my house gets a little too crazy on midnight.
Yes, your New Year's Eve party. I'm gonna just brush out any tangles before I do a braid. That's very important. You don't want to have any snarls in the hair. I still have a little bit of that Supernova Moisture and Shine Cream on my hands. And we are going to do the chain link braid, which is one of my favorite braids. It's a 3-dimensional braid that when you pull it apart, it looks like a chain link. And if you roll it up into a chignon, it looks like a flower almost. It's super cool.
Whoa.
It's a 4-strand braid. So you're going to want to start with equal density sections. So make sure they're all about the same. And if they're not, just redistribute the hair. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it doesn't matter what hand you start on. You're going to be rotating left and right. So I grabbed my left hand. So I'm going to use my pincher fingers is what I call them, your thumb and pointer finger. And you're going to grab section 2. You go flip it over. So 2. Then you're going to drop section 4, which is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. Flip and land. Again, this is section 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to grab section 2 with our left hand. We're going to rotate our wrist as we do that. Drop section 4, and then flip and land. 2, 4, flip and land. I know it seems confusing, but once you get it down, it's actually very simple. 2, 4, flip and land. And you don't necessarily need to number them. If just seeing the section, which ones get grabbed each time, it's just the section between your pointer and middle and the section between your pinky and ring finger. Those are the ones we're grabbing every single time and switching from hand to hand. Courtney's like, you're doing math.
I'm picturing it in my head and I can't.
It is like the coolest braid ever.
I can't wait to see it. I think I know which one you're doing, but I don't think I'm right.
I was like, did I do this braid on you yet?
You haven't done it on me, but I've just seen everything you do.
You had like the most epic hair at the coast though.
Yes.
That was so good.
I have had so many people like ask me about that, and they all are like, that must have taken so long. And I'm like, you would not believe me if I told you that she did it in under an hour. It was probably even under, it was like 30 or 40 minutes. It was crazy how fast you did that. It was so cool.
So I'm going to tie that off and then spray a little bit of hairspray and texture spray onto the braid. And then we're going to, using your pointer and thumb, we're going to massage the hair. I don't know if Lauren is watching this, but Lauren, I believe, said money fingers. So I didn't make that myself. I stole it from Lauren. You're going to massage it with your money fingers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, that's so good.
Makes sense.
Money. We're just pulling it apart, making it a little bit bigger. I love a big messy braid.
Same.
Let me tell you what, if I had hair, I'd be slaying a braid every day.
I should.
It's so
What
good.
am I doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm wasting my time. I think that's maybe the best thing about having long hair.
Yeah.
Besides just, I don't know, having it. I don't know, I think being able to do, because my hair, I cut 8 inches off.
Recently?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Probably like 3 months ago. September I cut it 8 inches off, if you can believe it.
Wow.
But I was sad because I was just doing a lot of high ponytail, long braid things. And that was my favorite thing, but that's the only thing worth keeping a long hair for.
So I just sprayed a little bit of Top Gloss Shine Spray. That's this guy here. It's in a really cute pink bottle. It's really nice because it's an aerosol shine spray, so I feel like it really evenly distributes without making the hair greasy. It just gives it like a really luminous shine, which is great for any clients that have highlights and lowlights. Creates some definition, really makes those colors pop.
That one also smells so good.
I know, it smells freaking good. And this is when I would take a step back, see how everything looks. You look gorgeous. Might add a little bit more hairspray. So if you notice, I'm spraying upwards instead of down. That's because I want to create a little bit of volume. So if I spray down, it's literally going to push the hair down. So I like to come from below and spray up. It's kind of the same thing as like back in the day, people would like blow dry their hair upside down. Mm-hmm. Which I definitely did, and it was not a cute look.
Do.
I think we need to add a little bit of flair. Let me grab a hair accessory, guys.
A little style and flair.
Let's put a little clip in there. This guy is cute. It's like a little pearl.
Fun! Love that.
If it works, I've never used it.
Where do you get all these things? Do you just...
I thrift a lot of them, honestly.
That, I totally buy that. That makes it so cool.
Oh, that's cute. Heck yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to have you do like a slow 360. This is the front. Cute.
So cute.
And then slowly, there's a side. Oops, you're all tangled in the
Sorry.
cords.